Hello Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you for supporting my readings. We're here to do your full moon oracle reading for the full moon, super full moon in Libra, March 28th. This super full moon can have some long-lasting effects. I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, Leo, just cutting them here on camera for you. This full moon is going to be highlighting your third house of neighbors, communication, your immediate environment, siblings, your thoughts and ideas, writing. So this is a 6-card spread here for those of you who are new to me, and welcome to anyone who has followed me from YouTube. I appreciate you. This is going to be looking at your recent past, your present point, your challenge or resistance, what's going to be unexpected help for you, your advice, as well as as well as I'm looking at the card. It's actually your outcome, future energies. Okay, keep in mind these are general readings and they are predictive messages as well. Most likely, if the recent past resonates and the current point resonates as well as your challenge, then the future predictions will be helpful to you too. So let's get started here. I use the tarot to clarify and read them in tandem to streamline the reading a bit. Okay. I'm also going to be pulling a moon oracle card at the end. Moonology oracle card for additional messages. Ooh. Okay. So let's begin with your recent past, Leo. So we have Moonlight with the Knight of Cups. So this is telling me in your recent past that many of you have gotten in touch with your feelings and have been expressing those feelings. This is also could be someone who has expressed their feelings towards you in the recent past in your immediate environment. What that communication was for, it will depend and be different for everyone, but it seems very loving, caring. Some of you could have been approached by a charming individual, or you've charmed someone else in a situation in your immediate environment through your communication. I'm picking up poetry, or some other type of romantic literature that you maybe indulged in recently. It could be in, living vicariously through a story or some other form of expression. So this is something here where I feel is like you're on a quest to soften, or been on a quest to soften your communications with others and speak from more of an intuitive feeling place rather than a logical ration or mental space where it's where you're cut and dry communication. There's more of a feeling and being empathic and intuitively aware of your words and how they affect other people. This also could be an energy that someone has been trying to improve their communication with you in some way. But either way, it's like getting in touch with the emotional side of your communication and how you're going to be expressing that communication going forward. What we have for your present point, follow the leader, 2 of Wands. So I do see that this is a pathway that's opening up for you. There's a winding road somewhere, though, with this. Some of you, with your communication, there's some passion in it. I feel like for some of you, I'm speaking to some Leos who may be writers or people who are artists. The way you express yourself, you got the emotional part. Now you're inserting the passion into some type of communication or connection around you in your immediate environment. And so there's a sense that you're trying to find your own way. You may have been inspired in the recent past. But now there's a sense of, well, okay, I've got the inspiration. Now what am I going to do with what I have in my hand, as far as the world in your hands, your world. Now, some of you could be traveling for inspiration, to stimulate your mind. There's a stimulation here that I'm getting with a trip or a reason to travel to gain the inspiration that you need for your expression. And some of you, I'm getting the sense with your immediate environment, there is some type of sense that you would maybe want to move or make a move from your immediate environment. Some of you, I'm feeling like as well, I'm getting a sense that someone maybe already left your environment and you may be following suit because that person's no longer around, or you're just getting this wanderlust in you where you feel like, I need a change of scenery. To draw out your inspiration. There's something where you've gotten maybe a little too used to a certain area, or there's just no inspiration coming to you in this space. So some of you are taking short trips to find your inspiration. Some of you are actually making a physical move from your immediate environment. You're changing your immediate environment. You could be doing this with someone or alone, but let's see what we have for your challenge. Listening and 8 of Pentacles. So for your challenge or resistance here, work in some ways could be something that is, or focus on work is something that could be holding you back from making a move, or there's something with your work that you need to be paying better attention to. You could be overlooking something. This is a challenge or resistance. Some of you with this feeling of wanderlust or like you need to leave, maybe there's something you've been already building for quite some time, where you're leaving something unfinished, or there's something here where you're just, this listening card is about saying less, listening more. There's this sense that I'm getting here. It's like, don't speak about it, just be about it. As far as where you're focusing and, even communicating your plans to others. Showing and proving, putting action behind your thoughts rather than words, seems to be a challenge or resistance for some of you. Some of you need to keep your plans to yourself, I'm picking up. Also, as far as like the feedback of others around you as it comes to your work with communication, some of you might be clashing with others in some sense. Others may have a lot to say about what it is that you're doing. You might also feel that someone has a strong, too much of a focus on you, or the challenge for some of you is that there are people around you that know where you live and your work. Maybe you work in some field or something here where maybe your privacy is important to you, or being anonymous in some space. Maybe some of you are becoming known for your work, and that's where people are, I'm picking up kind of like a gypsy energy. Once you get used to one space and the people around you, then all of a sudden you feel the urge to just get out and start anew elsewhere. So for some of you, that's part of it. Your work or your line of work is part of the reason why you're feeling like you need to look into a new path. Yeah, definitely. And so here we have, some of you may work in communication specifically, and that's where you now are in the midst of, and some of you are very passionate about your work, but you also know and feel that when it's time to move, it's time to move. All right, so what we have for unexpected help, we do have rock bottom with 2 of Swords. So some of you have come to the end of the road at some place, and you maybe feel like you've hit a brick wall. That's actually a helpful thing for you, because that's where your new path is open. And some of you, there are 2 paths. You could be working on these paths simultaneously or choosing one. There's a decision that needs to be made here. So some of you need to make a decision between two paths. You see, this is two roads. Well, finding another way here, and a decision that needs to be made. And some of you need to take the time to assess where it is. So where you have the time to assess and gain some peace and clarity about where it is that you need to move to or create that new path in, that's an opportunity that's coming in for you. An opportunity to assess and come to some type of decision. And I'm also picking up something around a crescent moon is significant in your decision making. So that's something here that's an unexpected help. To reach the end is a good thing. Some of you, I'm hearing, you came, you saw, you conquered. As far as where you are right now and being in between that space of where you want to be, that's coming in as a space now that you feel like, okay, I'm done with this. I've done that, been there, done that, time to go. So there's something else here that is like, your time. And some of you have time. Some of you have time to, or, there could be something within you that feels like there's an urgency with this fiery energy in the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. But sometime, and I'm also feeling like some of you are going to be in a limbo space, maybe with moving and moving your immediate environment. Limbo space could be someone that you live with until you get your own, or a hotel or Airbnb, something like this, where you're in the middle of deciding which path you should be taking. So there's a limbo space that I feel will be helpful for you in really assessing, thinking, and determining, and also how you communicate. Some of you may put an end to one form of communication and taking your time on how you're going. Now, as far as disagreements, ending disagreements or coming out of conflicting communication, I feel coming to the end of conflicting communication, I feel, is coming in for some of you, especially surrounding your siblings or your immediate environment. Some of you can call a truce with someone as it comes to communication and something that you just don't agree on. So there's a truce being called, and that's actually an unexpected help for you with your communication. And some of you are making a decision on what to do with the creative project that has to do with communication and expressing yourself. There's coming to an end of a project that I feel, then coming to the decision making of what you're going to do with it. That is an unexpected help coming in as well. So what we have for your advice come together with the Seven of Wands. So I do feel that this is encouraging you to connect with others on a higher level. Definitely with the Seven of Wands too. Rise above the pettiness when it comes to communication with others. Stand your ground though as well. Don't give in to what you don't agree on. But, you're standing in a way that you are elevating as well. Elevating, come together. I'm feeling like there's some of you, there is a space where you feel called to. That's because there is a tribe of like-mindedness that is around that space. You're going to energetically feel drawn to it. And so in your decision making, how you interact and go, some of you are going to be traveling to different spaces, feeling out the area. And a lot of what is going to motivate you is not going to be, external factors as far as like the home, the neighborhood, the economy, or anything like that. It's going to be the people. It's going to be the connections you can establish. It's going to be how your interactions go when you're there. You feel, whether you or not you feel at home in that space, is your advice to where you're going to be connecting with other like-minded, higher level thinking types of people here. So, and some of you maybe are in a space or an area where there are a number of people kind of moving out, and it's like, wow, someplace may be becoming a ghost town or something, in that sense, again, where you now that it's like now you've got that bug too, or you're going to get it coming in, with your immediate environment and changing that. So higher form of communication, a higher plane of existing in an environment that you feel is more on your level. Okay, well, taking the high road here is your advice. So storm fields with the Ace of Cups is your outcome. So there is going to be some clearing away, some major change here with this storm fields, but with an opportunity for a new beginning. Definitely a fulfillment of your wishes and something coming in that allows you to flow into a new space. So I do feel that some of you are going to definitely make a move. If not making a move, there's something here where I feel is going to be pouring out of you as far as your expression. It's I'm picking up a passionate communication, but not in a way that is would be deemed like negative or conflicting. There's actually an outpouring of love here. So some of you might have, and just kind of looking over, some of you within your communication, where you can no longer, there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say about something. Again, a truce being called. It could be a renewal of a connection through strong communication, passionate communication. Where you clash, there's actually something behind that. There's a lot of emotion behind that, but also the chance to refresh, renew, replenish a connection through the outpouring of feelings and expressing. Now, some of you with a project, it might cause a storm in the form of, but it also will bring you a lot of love and adoration, and there will be a flow here, a divine kind of blessing that is in disguise. There's a blessing in disguise coming in. So something that maybe starts off a little rough and rocky, there's a light at the end of that tunnel with this Ace of Cups. Some of you are going to definitely find a more secure kind of space. And I'm also feeling that some of you might be moving to a space that is susceptible to storms. But you will be around your loved ones. You will feel safe there. And safe in the midst of a storm. Some of you are retreating, or maybe, or leaving a space because you do feel like it's time and you're in preparation for something. So this is a clearing that's going to be very positive for you. And with the storm fields, I always look at this as a positive card. I also happen to like storms, but the basis of it is there's energies that are clashing, and what needs to change is going to change. And so that's a very positive kind of outcome there, with where you guys are going to be settling or uprooting to settle. Okay, so let's look into your moon message. See what we have to tie together for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Message from Mother Moon. Let's see what we have. Standing your ground with what you want to as you come together with others, not compromising. Some of you may need to compromise, or a situation of communication may end or clash at some point, or someone needs to compromise with something here. Some of you may feel like the other person needs to compromise, but I also feel like, again, some of you need to do a little bit more listening and need to maybe work on it, for like allowing others to speak their thoughts before you're ready to jump in and finish, and making sure that others are providing you that same courtesy. Ooh, sorry about that. Whoa, we've got one that turned over. Believe in the impossible, Blue Moon. For some of you, there is an opportunity. This opportunity to move is now. Or if you have it at the opening, it's coming in. Believe in the impossible. Also believe in the fact that you can heal through communication. You can change the way that you approach disagreements, things that you don't see eye to eye with in people. There's also a sense that you can be a catalyst of change within your environment. Some of you, not all of you, are moving, but some of you are moving out of one way of communicating and standing your ground and connecting with on a higher level with others is your advice within your immediate environment. You know, come together, but yet stand your ground. Celebrate your differences. Celebrate what makes you unique in the sense with other people around you. And also your expression in writing or anything that you're doing here, I feel is needed for some of you, this is a project that is going to be like cathartic for other people, but it also may ruffle some feathers, but that's okay as long as you are expressing yourself in a way that is true to you, staying true to you. But believe in the impossible, Leo, because it's ready to find you in the sense of an opportunity that happens once in a lifetime or once in a blue moon, basically. That's the blue moon energy. So some of you, there's a unique time that you're coming into with your immediate environment, whatever that immediate environment is to you. Some of you are changing it. Some of you are changing how you operate within your immediate environment, and especially how you communicate in your immediate environment. And that's going to be leading to some blessing here. I feel it's a blessing in disguise. So that is your reading. I do hope it was helpful for you. And if it was, I would appreciate your feedback. And I will be talking to you soon. Take care. Namaste.